Hi, everybody. You guys can hear me, I'm assuming? Yes? Awesome. My name is Shay Moraga. I'm the founder and the head warrior of Shay's Warriors. And this is Talk, Listen, and Share. It is our monthly group to talk to you about life after cancer, hosted by the most amazing humans that I get to work with monthly. Rosemary Flaherty, who is wearing her awesome Shay's Warriors tee. I see that. Yes, there we go. And then Dr. Sonja Fung of Live Well Clinic in La Quinta. She works, and her specialty is actually cancer care. And Rosemary is a retired nurse navigator. So I just want to welcome you guys all tonight. I am wearing my booby tee tonight. I want you guys to all see it. This is our original Shay's Warriors tee. I'm wearing it tonight in honor of my 5 years chemo free. I finished chemotherapy 5 years ago today, and that popped up. So it's always something to celebrate. And this group is about to celebrate life after cancer, because once we get cancer, you know, your world has changed, right? So why not celebrate each and every moment with inspiring stories and hope, and make that a ripple effect for other people to understand that you're not alone and we understand you. Tonight we have a fabulous talk, and it's about cleaning supplies, right? And other things. So I'm gonna just go ahead and give this up to Rosemary and Dr. Fung, and I'm gonna listen like everybody else. And then I've got my cleaning supplies ready to go just in case. So, all right, let's do this.
Do you want me to read the intro? Oh, hi everybody, I'm Rosemary Flaherty, and I've given this talk before, so it's exciting to present it again, and it's in a different time frame, so I'll review that. But first, I'm just going to do the introduction to Shay's Warriors so that everybody knows exactly what we are. So Shay's Warriors is a 501c3 nonprofit with an all-volunteer board of directors that was formed in the Coachella Valley with the help of our cancer community to thrive after treatment is over. The mission of Shay's Warriors is to inspire, inform, and empower through health, fitness, and the mind-body connection, to heal survivors and their families through a national network of support. Talk, Listen, Share community was formed as part of our online educational outreach to support each other through survivorship and thrivership. Talk, Listen, Share is hosted by board members every second and fourth Wednesday of the month by Shay Moraga, our fearless leader and founder, by Dr. Sonja Fung, our naturopathic doctor of her own wellness clinic, and me, Rosemary Flaherty. So we present different topics and lectures and formats for Talk, Listen, Share. So Dr. Fung specializes in integrated cancer care. We look forward to special guest speakers to broaden our conversations in the future. And this is a forum for honest conversation and to talk about the many emotional, physical, and societal realities that have become part of life and moving forward. You are part of the success of this group by talking, listening, sharing, and supporting and spreading the word as well. So welcome to tonight's talk. So I want to go back to high school. So when I'm old, so I went to high school a really long time ago. But the point is, many, many years ago, when I was in high school, my girlfriend and I had this bond in that whenever we bought products, we used to get really ticked off by how much packaging there was. So we would write the companies and say, you know, this bottle of foundation doesn't need 4 different boxes to have it put in order to get it to the shelf. Because in those days, packaging was extensive for even a small item. So we just knew that this was filling the landfill and that it was just a disaster waiting to happen, which, as we know now, it was. But we were a little bit ahead of our times, but we were also of the time when people first started really thinking about the impact of consumer products, the impact of packaging, the impact of chemicals. So that was our little thing that we did. So we started writing companies, and you don't get much in the way back, but you're satisfied knowing that somebody at the end hopefully read it. I first gave this talk, I believe it was 7 years ago at Eisenhower in the Cancer Center as part of the support group there, because they used to do presentations, and they still do presentations many times a year. And some people kind of asked, what does this really have to do with cancer? And the point of really assessing chemical use and what we put around our house has a lot to do with cancer and survivorship, because you want to feel like you are in a clean environment, yet one that is safe. And we know that many cleaning products that are out there really aren't safe, really aren't good for keeping someone. When your focus is health and staying well, products that we bring into our home can not be good for us. There are lots of chemical additives that have negative properties that can actually possibly be a carcinogen, that can manipulate hormones, that can be horrible irritants to lungs and to nose and to eyes, and have effects on different body systems. So what we want to try to do is think in terms of, how can I have a safe, clean home? And what's the best method to do that? So that's essentially the intention of this. The other thing is, it seems like we're living in a pretty great time right now, because there is a definite change in the amount of resources that are refreshed up on, the amount of products that are out there that really have, their primary focus is safety and reducing chemicals and reducing packaging, because part of this is not only what we're exposed to, but what's the after effect of our product use, which is definitely much more in our consciousness now, when it's been revealed that the majority of things that we put in our recycle bin truly aren't recyclable plastics. So we just have an issue with plastics and the detriments to the environment, which affects everyone. So I just wanted to start out with kind of naming some cool products that are out on the market now, whose focus is just what I mentioned: safety, responsible packaging, and responsible use. And there are so many new ones that it's really, really fun to see where this has gone. We'll start with toothpaste, because toothpaste tubes are something that's we throw out, and it's really not biodegradable in any way. So there is a company. Oh, and people might want to have a pad of paper and a pencil or a pen or something, because we're going to be writing. There might be some things that are said that you want to write down, or write them in your phone on your notes, whatever. But they have a new form of toothpaste by a company called BiteToothpasteBits.com. And what they are is they're little tiny pearls that are in a glass jar, and each pearl is a dose of toothpaste. So you put them in your mouth and you bite down on them. It creates a little bit of foam, and then you go about brushing your teeth. So at the end of it, the only thing you have is a glass jar to dispose of, which, as we know, glass is recyclable. So, and it's a nifty looking little jar and stores easily. So that was something that I thought was a little bit ahead of the curve as far as thinking about, what's something that we can really change? What's something that can be modified? There are some resources that I think are kind of cool to share with people. And the Environmental Work Group, EWG.org, is really a fantastic resource for all things clean and pure, and all chemicals that are detrimental to health and the environment. And it's EWG.org. They've been around for a long time. It's a very sophisticated group of researchers. And if you ever research their board, it's a fascinating display of talent that is on the board of the Environmental Work Group. But you can also have a membership, and then you get automatic newsletters, et cetera, from them, or you can just resource them online for free as well if you're researching something. But they cover cosmetics, fabrics,
about cleaning supplies, right? And
I'm getting a little feedback there. So they're really an excellent resource, and they have a wide scope because they actually have a stamp on products that are pure, and it will say like EWG approved. So that's another stamp that you can look at when you're looking at your clean products. The Department of Health and Humans, there's another one that's called through the Consumer Product Information Database, and you can enter in a search for what's in products.com. And that provides you with a lot of the safety data information and material data safety sheets for products. And it gives a rundown of what's safe and what's not. So it's a good research site as well. And then the National Library of Medicine, you can search the National Library of Medicine, and they also have a household product safety database. Most of the safety data sheets used to be handled through the Health and Human Services.gov site, but that has changed. So it's kind of going out to the Consumer Products Information Database, and then there's the National Library of Medicine. So those are some good places to start if you're researching. And then as far as products, Jessica Alba is not in show business anymore. She is the CEO of Honest Products, which gets outstanding reviews for purity and the concern for the reusability of the packaging or the ability to recycle it. Echo's products also always have a very good review. They use renewable energy in their plants, so they can break down the steps in the manufacturing process itself and how clean it is. So they're carbon neutral, they use renewable energy sources, and they're certified at a number of levels by the people that do the certification, like the Environmental Work Group, and they're true platinum certified, and that's ECOS, ECOS products. They're easily found. You don't have to search for them. Mrs. Myers always has good ratings as well, and she's got very nice, fresh smelling and cleaning products. And she does a lot, they're doing a lot with the refillables. So you only buy one plastic bottle and then you refill it through the envelope type refilling process. Grove is an interesting kind of new to the market, at least new to me. And they are people that essentially, and this Grove is available at Target right now. So Target seems to be getting a lot more conscious in their lines of products, even in their foods and their frozen food sections. But Grove provides you with a plastic bottle, spray bottle, dispenser, whatever the product is, and a little tiny bottle of concentrate that you can put into the plastic bottle that's available, that is purchased, and then fill it up with water. And you can have products for 6 months or a year, whatever. But it's just, these are little tiny glass bottles of concentrate that provide you with the cleaning supply, essentially. So they've got a really nice display. They explain the products, they explain what they are. So it was really interesting to see that at Target. And then there's another one that's called 9 elements. And the principle of 9 elements is that there's only a combination of 9 different elements that make up every single one of their products. So they're mostly vinegar based, there's soda, there's oils, there's a preservative that's natural, etc. So you're guaranteed that there's no more than 9 products. And that's another good way to evaluate a product. If you pick something up that's cleaner and you look at the ingredients in the back, many times what they do is tell you that you have to go on the website for the company to find the products, which I think is a little bit deceiving, or it makes it more difficult. But if you look on the back and you see many different ingredients, then chances are that's a product that has a lot of chemicals in it. So by having a limited amount of chemicals or products into this cleaning product, then it means that it's just basically cleaner. So 9 Elements is also available at Target. And there's another online marketplace called Thrive Market. It is a membership-based marketplace, but everything on their website is guaranteed to be vegan, clean, right down to, you know, the way that it's processed and packaged. And it's also a good place, even if you don't become a member. I'm not sure. I think you have to become a member to access all of their product lines, but they have extensive different lines. They have Mrs. Meyer's, they have Echoes, they have their own lines. But it's also a very good place to do research on the products that you're buying so that you know exactly what you're getting. 7th generation products, always a very good, pure, safe line to use. And my endless favorite of all times, been using it for decades, Dr. Bronner's soaps. Dr. Bronner's peppermint soap, Dr. Bronner's, they have all kinds of scents now. So they have a lemon, they have lavender, they have one that's suitable for babies. They have unscented ones, but Castile soap is one of the oldest manufactured soaps in the world, been around for ages, and it's essentially an olive oil based soap. Very pure, endless uses, from insecticides to washing your hair. If you go camping, it used to be the hippie soap because it was the only soap you really could take out in the forest camping because it didn't have any phosphates in it that would contaminate anybody's water or anything. So it's very safe soap and an outstanding cleaning horse as well. The goals of the products that that we've discussed, and the goals of the way that we want to handle our products is that they're safe, they're non-toxic. And when you start making your own stuff, it's economical. When you're looking at products that are biodegradable, that have special packaging to be kind to the environment, that are essentially the organic and non-toxic, they can get very pricey. So it is something that when you figure out what's in them, you could really start making them yourself. And when I say make them yourself, think about the vinegar, hydrogen peroxide, salt, oils, olive oil, coconut oil, castor oil. These are all products that can become your cleaning. They clean your furniture, they clean your floors, a window cleaner. So I'll give you some recipes for making your own products. And it's something that is astoundingly reasonably priced. So you can clean your house every day and still save money. Another thing that we have to consider, many of us live in California, so we live in fire country. And when you think about, where do you store all your cleaning products? Is it under your sink? Is it over your washing machine? Think about how many you have and how many are toxic. And what would happen if there was a house fire, if there was a kitchen fire? So many of these products are very flammable. And I know that there's been a lot of comments from firefighters when they're fighting these huge fires and trying to save houses, that when they enter and there's a lot of chemical fire as well, it makes it much more difficult for them to try to contain. So that's just another consideration for the environment and for our safety. And I know that I once had an ancient bottle of bleach, and I looked above, because I have wire hangers, and I looked above the washing machine, and it's like, what's all this stuff dripping down? It actually eroded through the bottle. So bleach is incredibly toxic, and it's incredibly strong. So I said, if this is eroding through thick plastic, then I got to figure out how to get rid of it. And then we can talk about foods. So one thing that the environmental work group probably became well known and to more people is that they produce something that's called the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. And what this is every year they evaluate the fresh fruits and vegetables that have the highest residue of pesticides and chemicals. And these are the ones that you truly want to consider buying organic, because they're just a hotbed of chemicals and insecticides. And also the weed killer. What's the name of it? It'll come to me when I'm not presenting it. But the one that's been, what's that?
Glyphosate. Roundup.
Roundup. Thank you. Yes, it's Roundup. So Roundup is kind of ubiquitous now. So it's something to definitely think about. And we'll talk about nice, clean ways to get rid of weeds as well. So the Dirty Dozen are the following: strawberries, spinach, kale and collards, nectarines, apples, grapes, cherries, peaches, pears, peppers, bell peppers, hot peppers. There was kind of like a special asterisk next to that because they consider these the ones that are kind of newly much more contaminated. Celery and tomatoes. So all the delicious stuff of summer and the fresh fruits that are so popular, and I know that apples are particularly bathed in chemicals when they're not organic. So these are all of the Dirty Dozen, much safer to buy organic. Now the Clean 15 are actually products that they don't have as much of a contamination, and they usually have a hard core, or I'm sorry, a hard shell that you can get rid of. So avocados. I had an avocado tree once, and they're hardy. They're very hardy, and you didn't worry about pests on those trees. There was nothing that invaded them. Sweet corn, pineapple, once again, a very tough exterior. Onions, papaya, frozen sweet peas, eggplant, asparagus, broccoli, cabbage, kiwi, cauliflower, mushrooms, honeydew, and cantaloupes. So anything that you bring home, it's a good idea to wash. For many things, like particularly beans and such like that, you can also soak them in salt water and then rinse them. Or you can spray them with either vinegar or peroxide, and that gets them clean too and gets rid of residue.
Rosemary, I put in the chat links to the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
I said I put in the chat links to the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. So they can click on the link and get that list.
Thank you so much. That's great. And you can also access information by just doing the environmentalworkgroup.org, but that is fantastic. The other thing to know is, I'll hold this up. Can you see that? Can you read that? Yep, here you go. So all those little labels that are on our fruits and vegetables, just so that you know what the code is. If it's a 5-digit code that begins with an 8, it means it's genetically modified. If it's a 5-digit code that starts with a 9, it's organic. It's organic with a 9. If it's a 4-digit code that starts with a 3 or a 4, it's conventionally grown. So that just helps with your choices. Once you somebody ask me something?
I think it's just some feedback.
Okay.
We have lots of questions, but we'll wait until the end. I know I'm writing them all down for you.
There always are lots of questions with this. It's a hot topic. Okay. So what are the advantages of healthy products? They're safe. They're free of toxic chemicals. There's a reduced health risk associated with them. There's a reduced risk to the environment. They're pet safe, which is something else you want to think about when you're mopping floors and what the chemicals you're using, because dogs' paws and their body is on them constantly. And what do? They lick their paws, they lick their fur. So there can be a risk to pets with more toxic products. And particularly like antifreeze, if an animal ever gets in the garage and there's a leak of antifreeze, it's very, very, very toxic. And it's also very attractive to them because it's very sweet. So you want the products to be pet safe, you want them to be effective, and you want them to be economical. And as I said, you can make really effective, safe products yourself with just a few basic cleaning products. So as I mentioned before, what are safe and healthy cleaning products? Vinegar, which is also known as acetic acid, if you see that on the back of a bottle. One time I bought this really beautiful bamboo bottle of cleaning product that said it was a miraculous cleaner of just about everything. And I got it and I looked on the back of it and I had paid $10 for a bottle of vinegar and water. So look at the back. If it says acetic acid, it's just vinegar. And there are different strengths of vinegar. So the traditional kind that's in your cupboard is a 5% acetic acid. And there are higher strengths that you can get. There's a 6% solution. And the intention is you use less vinegar and more water and you can balance it out. But a lot of people, try to use it as a cleaning product. It becomes more risky because it's, can burn you more. It's going to have more odor and such. The only thing that I've ever used a 6% cleaning solution or a 6% vinegar for is I had some really nasty weeds one time, and I just poured full strength vinegar on them, and they didn't like it very much. So just for the purposes of this lecture, just plain old vinegar is what we're talking about. 5% solution acetic acid, which is what you have in your cabinet. Baking soda, salt. Salt is a great debubbler, you know, like after you've done dishes or something and your sink is full of bubbles, rather than rinsing it with water, which we're trying to save right now, you can throw salt on it. Just leave it for a few minutes, all the bubbles are gone. And that way you can rinse your sink and it's nice and clean as well. Hydrogen peroxide, and we're talking about 3% household. You can find on different markets much stronger hydrogen peroxide, but the safest one is just, and for all intents and purposes, what we're talking about is 3% household. Lemons, Castile soap, olive oil, coconut oil. There are two different types of coconut oil. You can get the traditional kind that, depending on the temperature around it, either becomes solid or is liquefied. So that has great purposes in cleaning. And then there's fractionated coconut oil, which is always in a liquid state. And you can buy that in bottles at, usually, you can find it in most drugstores and organic markets and Clark's and Whole Foods, all of those places. Canola oil, essential oils, and castor oil is also a really good cleaning oil. Very, very thick. You think of that as something that, you know, mothers used to shove down kids' throats when they were like sick. But it's really a wonderful oil. It's a nut. Castor is a nut. And it's incredibly thick. So it's got a lot of skincare purposes, but if you're cleaning furniture or something, you can mix castor oil with olive oil and it's a really good thing. You don't need to write these down, just kind of keep in your head that when you're looking at cleaning products, if they have a lot of products in them that you really can't pronounce very easily, then chances are they're not good. So chlorinated phenols, diethylene glycol, just about all phenols, nonylphenol ethyl oxalate, formaldehyde, very toxic substance, petroleum solvents, perchlorone ethylene, and butyl cellusol. Okay, those are just some of them. There are many more, but these are some of the big ones that have been associated with damage to lungs, damage to endocrine systems, and that they manipulate hormones and can make you more vulnerable to cancers, burns, inhalation injuries. Some of them are toxic to your liver. So just try to avoid exposure to those. So how about, we can talk about cleaning solutions, to how to make them and what the recipes are. So you have kind of an overview of how you can deal with all of these good natural products that we talked about. The thing about products that you buy, because they do tend to have more chemicals in them than just maybe 3 or 4 chemicals, they might be a little bit foamier. They might be a little bit smoother on the surfaces than if you just put vinegar on it. So those are kind of luxuries that we're used to in our cleaning products, but it doesn't make them more effective. It makes them a little bit easier to use. It might make them just feel lighter, and you might feel like they're getting things cleaner. Well, these products can get things clean. They might not be as smooth. They might not be as come out of the bottle as easily at times, but they're very, very effective at cleaning, and they have antibacterial properties as well as antifungal properties. So they get your house clean and disinfected as well. I know a lot of people during COVID ran out and got much stronger cleaning products. And I myself ran out and got some, and have to say it was a miserable experience. All the windows were opened and it was a mistake. Anyway, all-purpose cleaner is pretty straightforward, and you can make a number of different batches of different combinations, and you can come up with some of your own as well. But if you use 8 ounces of distilled white vinegar and 8 ounces of distilled water, so half and half distilled water and distilled vinegar, you have a basic cleaning solution that is good for cleaning many different types of surfaces. To that, add 20 drops of lemon essential oil and maybe 20 drops of orange oil or eucalyptus oil. There are a number of essential oils that are very good for cleaning. And if you have 16 ounces of the product, you can add 20 to 40 drops of essential oil. The essential oil make it lovely to work with because it's going to smell really nice. And they also have powers of, they help shine. The orange oil is notorious for shining wood. Lemon oil is notorious for cleaning wood. So they have cleaning powers and disinfectant powers unto themselves. Just good for general cleaning. You keep it in a bottle. If you do put essential oils in it, they're going to separate out. So you need to shake it very well before each use. And you can also, like I said, you can add whatever essential oil is pleasing to you. You might like peppermints, the mints, or some other type. Thyme is also a good one to add because it's got a lot of good disinfectant qualities. What I use a lot in the kitchen is I will use the Dr. Bronner soap in a spray bottle. It certainly wouldn't be a half and half. I'd say that it would be 1/4 to 3/4 water. And then the nice thing about the Dr. Bronner soap is that it doesn't tend to get as foamy when you put it on surfaces. But if you want to use just a nice, clean, regular dish soap mixed with water in a spray bottle, then you can put a little bit of vinegar in it, and that will keep it from having too much suds. So just about a teaspoon of vinegar. If you've used about, let's say 4 ounces, about 2 ounces of cleaning product, and then you could put 8 ounces of water in it with a little bit of vinegar. Really good cleaner. And essentially that's what we pay for when we get all of the different household cleaners. You're getting water and a little bit of product, so majority of it is water. Then for window cleaning, a 1/2 cup of vinegar, 2 cups of distilled water, and a 1/2 teaspoon of dish soap. You can put some essential oils in it if you want to, but as we know, vinegar is a really good cleaner of windows, and it doesn't streak. A lot of it depends on the cloth that you use when you're cleaning your windows, but it's just a great spray bottle. Just shake it and keep it and label it yourself. So you can make your own labels or use an existing bottle of household cleaner. Like when you get rid of your Windex and you want to make your own, you could make up a batch in the Windex bottle, and that way you can identify it. Because all those vinegar solutions start to look exactly the same, so they do need labels. Now, if you're want a wood polish, you can do 1/4 cup of white vinegar and 3/4 cup of either olive oil, coconut oil, canola oil, or castor oil, and put the essential oils of either lemon or orange, or you could put a combination of the both. but it really is a very, very good cleaner. If you want to reduce the amount of vinegar, that's fine. But a combination of castor oil and olive oil unto itself is a very good cleaner for wood and for your cutting boards in the kitchen. It's a very good, you can rub it down with the oil and then throw salt on it, and then rub the salt with the oil, and your wood's going to be beautifully clean and very healthy the next time you start cutting on it. You don't need to worry about the residual of any chemicals. Then a wood floor cleaner, just a cup of vinegar and a gallon of warm water. For tile, vinegar works as well. It might bleach out your grout a little bit. So you might want to do more of a non-sudsing type of dish soap in water with some vinegar in it, but not as much as you can on a wood floor. So how do you scrub out your sinks? Half a cup of Castile soap, so that could be like your Dr. Bronner soap, a half a cup of baking soda, and a few drops of essential oil. And that can just make like a paste, and you can rub it into the sink. And then the all-time classic is your baking soda and vinegar to help clear the drains and to scour the sink as well. So you can just either spray the sink with pure vinegar or get a squirt bottle and clog the drain, and then put your baking soda in there. Then scrub. And it's very good. And if you rinse it with like boiling water, it will clean out your drain as well. So it'll keep it nice and clear. And boiling water, if you have those little, the little hot pots that you make your tea with that are just electric, they're great. You can drizzle it on top of your cutting board. I have tile floors, and then when they get grungy in the kitchen, I will use boiling water on them with the steamer, and it gets them incredibly clean. And I know that commercial kitchens many times rub down at night with boiling water, and the steam is very good. And those steamers that you clean your floors with and have the attachments that you can steam walls or bathrooms or anything, they're great. It's just steam, and it gets things so clean. So that's the bath scrub. Now for laundry, there are many products. Oh, this is another product. And I didn't write down the name of it. But there are products that you can get that are just sheets. So you don't have any plastic packaging. They come just in an envelope type thing, and they're just sheets. And you mail order away to the company, and they sell it in year lots, so that way there's reduced mailing orders. So you might spend $180, but it's a year's worth of products that is only about this big in a box, because they're just sheets that you put into the washing machine. And they also have the sheets for the softeners as well. So that's something to explore. I'm so sorry I don't have the name of that. I completely forgot. But it sounds like a very well thought out company, reducing packaging, reducing space. And if you buy a year's product in the beginning, then you don't have the multiple boxes and packaging and trips back and forth to deliver them to you. So laundry boosters, yellow linens, you can put a half a cup of soda and a quarter a cup of salt in hot water, and then soak those. Add 1 cup of vinegar for colored fabrics to set the colors when you get new colors. So you put that into the wash water, and then add 1 cup of vinegar for deodorizing the wash. A natural fabric softener is the juice of 4 lemons, 2 cups of water, and 1 teaspoon of soda. So you could put that in the rinse cycle, and that is equivalent to a natural fabric softener. Some other uses for peroxide because it acts really, really well just by itself. So if you, after you shower or when you're cleaning your shower, I just spray pure peroxide in there. And if you go to Walgreens or anything, you'll see there are lots of bottles of peroxide that have a sprayer now. So they've always already got a sprayer provided so that you don't have to add your own or put it into a different spray bottle. But it's great in the shower and it cleans the grout beautifully. And it's also, it disinfects and it's antifungal. So what I do is I just spray it at night before I go to bed and wake up in the morning and your shower is really, really clean. And that way you can brush it off a bit before you get in or just let the water run over it. It's great for removing sweat stains from your clothing. So you can just spray the garment with 1 part of dishwashing liquid and 2 parts hydrogen peroxide. Apply it to the stain, let it sit for a bit, and then wash it in cold water. The other application for hydrogen peroxide is that if you're careful with them, just put a couple of drops when you're planting plants. They particularly say that mushrooms are responsive to this, but hydrogen peroxide is 2 parts hydrogen to 2 parts oxygen. So it can provide an oxygen boost when you water to your plants that you might be growing. You can clean out the dishwasher with hydrogen peroxide and baking soil. Oh, baking soda, I'm sorry, not baking soda, baking soda. So you can just make like a paste and then put that in your dishwasher and run it through and it will clean. For microwave ovens, you can put a microwave-proof bowl with vinegar in it into the microwave, run it for a couple of minutes, and the vapor from the vinegar is going to clean out your microwave. You can do the same thing for your oven, but it's going to be a longer time. It's going to be about an hour or so, and it will help clean the oven out of the stains. Because one of the worst things are those oven cleaners. They are just very, very strong and toxic. And peroxide and soda and all of these wonderful chemicals and vinegar can do the same thing. The other thing is the oxygenated products that you see on the market that are supposed to be superior cleaning products with cleaning products. All those are essentially, they have peroxide in them. So you can add peroxide to your wash and you have an oxygenated laundry detergent. It deodorizes your clothes, removes the stains. And so there are just some of the many ways that you can, it's also good for cleaning your brushes. So your hair brushes, when they get gunky with hair products or whatever, and they need a good scrubbing, then you can spray them with peroxide or soak them in vinegar water with a little bit of, you can use shampoo or dishwashing liquid, and it will get them clean. Way to disinfect your toothbrush, soak it in peroxide and for about 10, 15 minutes, and that'll take care of getting it nice and clean and disinfected. So when we're talking about the natural products, you want to make them smell good, because we all associate a clean smell to a clean house. That's how Pine Sol became so very popular, because you walked into a house that smelled like very strong pine. So when you add lemon to a product, it's got antibacterial, antifungal qualities to it. It's very freshening, and the scent is uplifting. So kind of a fun way to jazz up your cleaning if you can add essential oils and it just smells good. Orange is pretty much the same as far as it has antibacterial, antifungal, disinfecting qualities. Orange is a much better degreaser than lemon is, and it's also very uplifting. Peppermint, we have very good for cleaning. It deters bugs as well. Pine disinfects, antiseptic, and insecticide. Eucalyptus is disinfecting. If you want to get rid of ants, coffee grounds with some Dr. Bronner's peppermint oil soap in. Ants hate peppermint. So I got rid of an anthill in the front yard. Just gone. Coffee grounds with Dr. Bronner soap. It was like the next day, they not only left, they took the hill with them. It was all gone. So ants don't like to crawl over anything that's gritty. So it's a safe thing to put at your doorstep if that's where the entry point is. Because if a dog licks up some coffee grounds, it's not that bad for them, but they lick up some other things it can be. I'm sorry, I've gone way over time. There must be questions. Somebody should have given me a time sign. I can get forever.
Such powerful information that we can empower ourselves with. And when you were talking about this, my mind was just going boom, 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 like this. And so I have a few things because, I'm very visual, right? I talk with my hands. And I also thought it would be really cool to show some of the things because when you were talking, Rosemary, okay, first of all, laundry. Do you see this ball? This ball is the sorry, I'm drawing a blank now. But when you throw it in the dryer, it's a dryer ball, right?
Is it a woolly?
It is, and it's totally non-toxic. And I want to give a shout out. She's not on tonight. She was going to try to get on, but I know she probably had to work late because she is a total boss babe. But this is sold over at Grounded in Palm Springs. Jen, who's one of our partners, I also get some of my untoxic cleaning stuff for my face, Osea. And also something that's super toxic that now I only use this brand. It's called Coat, for your nails. And they also have the takeoff because this is like when you were talking about formaldehyde and all of that, I'm like, I remember after I was done with all of my stuff and like researching how much toxicity is in just nail polish alone. Now I don't look at my nails because I don't have them done. But Jen over at Grounded sells that, and she's a partner with Shay's Warriors. She gives 40% off to any of our Shay's Warriors friends and family. So that's a huge savings. And she doesn't pay us to do this or anything. It's just something that she gifts to our warrior community because she is so knowledgeable about toxicity, and her whole spa is completely untoxic. I know Dr. Fung, you've been there quite a few times too, and I found her right after I was done during my cancer, so that was kind of something too. And then Kiehl's is really good too, that has only natural products in it, natural flowers and plants and all of that, because our skin is like the biggest organ on our body, right? And so what are we putting on our skin? And even when you were talking about hand soap, this is the one I think you were telling, this is actually at Target. And Myers is at Target too, and Trader Joe's and all those places. And one other thing, I don't know if anyone's like me, but I love candles. And when you burn candles, do you know how much stuff like goes in the air, especially when it's fragrant candles? But I found this company, JTC. They're a local company in town. Again, I think you can find them pretty much anywhere, but these are non-toxic too. So I don't know. Those are just a few things. Oh, and then makeup, milk makeup, totally untoxic, completely. Which is great because again, even when I live my mascara. When I lost all my eyelashes, the one thing I always said is I have to have my mascara. And the awesome thing about this is that non-toxic here. And it's a brand that you can get online. I think Sephora sells it as well. But again, just some good tips,
Are there questions?
Yes, a ton of them. Let's start with, I don't know how much time we have, but question, when you're talking about the toothpaste, is it made in the USA?
You know, I don't know that. I believe it is. I think it's an American company.
Okay, good to know. Is vinegar based best for cleaning spaces for viruses? And I think what they meant to say is basically, is vinegar gonna be the most powerful for cleaning?
Yeah, actually peroxide's more powerful for cleaning.
Peroxide.
The important thing when you're cleaning, it's got to have a wet contact time. And it's not just like, oh, it's been on there a few minutes, but you want to have the cleaning product in contact for about 5 minutes and then wipe it up, because all the good stuff happens when there's contact between the cleaning product and the object to be cleaned. And when you add the essential oils, they increase the antiviral, antibacterial thing. And another good thing is wiping with alcohol. Alcohol is a very good cleaner. With all of these cleaners, even though they're clean, I always wear a mask because I don't like to inhale vinegar and I don't like to inhale those things. The only thing that doesn't have any scent or feel like it's causing any type of vapor is peroxide. So I'm kind of a peroxide fan for
I think that's a really important point too, and the fact that we should never mix any of our other chemicals.
Yes.
Such as, because they really, or be in an enclosed space, like a bathroom. If you have a really small bathroom and you're cleaning with chemicals, you can pass out when you're inhaling that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you're cleaning the toilet, protect your eyes. Because those are, if you're using traditional chemicals, they splash up and they can do a lot of damage to your eyes and to your skin.
So important. Okay. I'm not sure what this meant. Angela wanted to know groove or grow, and how do you spell Bronner? Dr. Bronner. I was going to grab it, but I couldn't find mine.
It's Dr. Bronner. Hang on one second.
And I will definitely put all of these recipes up on our Shay's Warriors blog, so you guys have that. I know when going through everything, it's fine, but shayswarriors.org/community, just go to our blog page. And we also have Dr. Fung and Rosemary's different recipes that we've had throughout the past year. So there's tons of stuff on there, and we'll make sure that this is up at least by the end of the week. So there we go. Dr. Bronner's.
This is Dr. Bronner's. It kind of got new packaging. It says Heal Soul. There's also a ton of tips on the label. Read this label. It's like, get your glasses on. It's small printing, but it's got a ton of information and usages for it. And it's Grove, Grove, just like a grove of trees.
Okay. The other cool thing about that is when my hair started coming back from cancer, I would use that for my hair, and I swear that made my hair grow quicker. I don't know why, but I feel like it did.
It's very stimulating to your scalp. Did you use the peppermint?
I did. I used that and the lavender.
Well, peppermint's really stimulating, but I find this really strong. I can't shower with it, but I can shower with like the unscented ones, the ones that don't have much as an additive. But
the lavender was really good too.
The lavender's nice, yes.
Yeah, soothing.
Great for insect control. I use it all the time. And aphids on trees, perfect.
Speaking of, we have another question that came through. How about flies? How can we get rid of flies? Is it the same, or do you know?
Flies do not like mint. And I have this cheat sheet right here. Flies do not like mint, and they don't like neem oil is an oil that you can buy that's, it's pretty strong, but you can spray your garden with it. It takes care of a lot of pests. Citronella, of course, but there's also lemon eucalyptus. And it's not lemon oil and eucalyptus oil. It's actually a variety of eucalyptus called Eucalyptus citrodora, which means essentially lemon eucalyptus. Very distinctive, and it works for repelling mosquitoes. The CDC did research on it, and they found it as effective as DEET. So you have to be careful how you use it. And flies, lemongrass oil is also another one that takes care of flies and mosquitoes. So they don't like those. So you can put it in, water, spray it. You can put it on cotton balls, put it around your yard. There are different ways to do it. You could make a patch of it on, put a patch on a piece of paper towel or something, and then just pin it to your blouse, and that can help detect flies. But if you go out and spray areas with Dr. Bronner's peppermint oil soap, you'll get rid of flies too.
I think I'm going to do that in my backyard this weekend. Absolutely. They're horrible this year. Okay. Genetically modified. Someone wanted you to repeat the codes. I think what will be best is, Rosemary, I'll have you email me the codes and we'll post that to the blog by this weekend. I'll make sure that our recipes and the codes are up there just so it's easier for time, and you guys will have it. You can just hit the blog, it's free, just hit it, and then you'll see all that information. Let's see. Oh, we have one more. And I know this is going to be a good one for you and I, Rosemary. Who do we use for the purchase of oils? Do you have any recommendations? I hear Young Living and doTERRA is excellent.
I'm going to say that I tend to, I go through private vendors, but I'm a registered aromatherapist. So I tend to need different qualities in oils. And here in the desert, we have an outstanding resource in that we have Aromaceuticals run by Catherine Copeland. And she is trained with some of the finest aromatherapies in true internships and mentorships. And they know how to source oils. It's an entire different talk. There's also a line of organic oils at Whole Foods that is very good, and at Clark's. And
then also sage. I don't know if you guys can see this at all. Is my video showing?
Yeah, it is.
Sage, they're online. They have a store location down in San Diego and some other places, but this is all organic, plant or flower based, and they are very holistic as well. So that's another great resource. I'm not familiar with the doTERRA or the other ones, and I think, Rosemary, I believe Catherine is going to be talking about this.
Next Talk, Listen, Share.
Yeah, next Talk, Listen, and Share. So don't forget to tune in to that one, because that's right up our alley.
Yeah. Well, she's talking about Reiki. She'll be our next session is going to be Catherine talking about Reiki, the art and the benefits of Reiki. So
yeah, but she has one
lecture coming up.
Yeah. Nail polish and toxins. I guess we kind of went over that a little bit, but somebody had asked, what about the toxins in nail polish?
It's very toxic. They do have some natural lines now that are reduced, or your line of product. It's really tough, because when something stays on your body for an extended amount of time, like nail polish does, you know that there's a lot of strong stuff in it. And, I just feel for people that do nails, because it's only now that finally ventilation standards came into those places, because they used to be like walking into, an anatomy lab of formaldehyde. So there's a lot of stuff in them. There are natural based products. There are buffing creams and different ways to take care of your nails, and some very good products out there that are very emollient and keep your cuticles healthy, which keep your nails healthy. They're not as fancy as beautiful colors, but there are, if you do research into the products, there are about, I think there are 3 lines now of nail products that are greatly reduced toxicity.
This one coat, it is made in the United States, and right actually in Los Angeles. It actually says right on the label, free of DBP, formaldehyde resin, taurine complex, and TPHP. So it actually says that right on the label there, which is I think a big deal. I mean, it's nice to see that, and it's nice to see that it's made in the USA. I know somebody had asked about that tonight too.
And I got this at Clark's, and it's called Mineral Fusion, and it is a natural-based product as well. That's nail polish.
And I've used that before, and it's great color too.
They have beautiful colors. They don't stay on as long. So when you use these products, you might have to do your nails or touch them up a little bit more, but.
Yeah. Look for nail polish that's like, it says 5 free or 7 free, or even more than that. Sometimes they're like 13 free. And so those are the ones that you want to look for. And I think even some of like the typical, like the OTI are now having like a clean line. So you can just look it up online, like the 5 or 7 free.
As I mentioned at the beginning, I think we're living in a really exciting time right now because there are so many options out there, and there are so many clean, responsible products out there. And as you mentioned, even traditional lines of things are coming up with their own version. I know that money's the motivation. That's what we as the consumers are demanding. So we got to keep demanding. And that's the bottom line. And, we greatly reduced bottled water because it's nothing but a toxic hotbed of stuff. And it's bad for fish and everybody. And so by carrying our own water bottles, I mean, we have a lot of power as a group of consumers. And it's also good to remind corporations if they're doing a good job or if something is bad, just like too much packaging, get rid of it. You don't need 6 boxes for a bottle of foundation.
Awesome. Well, I think tonight was just an amazing talk. And I know I learned a lot, and hopefully I've shared some of our stuff too. It's always great to be able to see products and be able to share. And I hope that everyone had a really great time tonight. Please give us your feedback. We are here for you. We're with you in this. And if there's topics or stuff that you want us to kind of do a little research on and get some information, we would love to be able to share that with our community here in the Valley and beyond. I know next time we have Rosemary, we have your good friend, Catherine, who's going to be here talking about Reiki.
Yes.
Healing modalities going on. That's going to be very nice.
So Catherine has a really interesting background, and she is experienced in a number of modalities. She has her own essential oil company. She has her own business with blending and a line of products. But she's also a massage therapy instructor here in the Valley, and she's well-versed and educated in all types of modalities, including Reiki. And she's the one that had me over for a tea ceremony and helped me with the tea presentation when we presented the beauties of green tea. So
I'm so excited, and I'm so excited too I know, having done Reiki myself, you can get that through the phone, through online, everything. So I'm super excited to hear her chat next time. That's in 2 weeks. Please, you can register at shayswarriors.org on the events page. You can register on Instagram, on our bio there. Or if you have not signed up for our newsletter, we send out the newsletter at the beginning of the month so you can plan your month forward and be ready to sign. And then we send reminders that way too. We don't want to spam you with a ton of emails. Don't worry, we don't do that. But we definitely want to get as much information in your hands as possible. So don't forget to sign up for the e-newsletter. Check us online on Instagram, Facebook, and thank you so much for attending tonight. We had a record breaking tonight of over 46 warriors online between Instagram, Facebook, and here, all live. So thank you for tuning in. This is important stuff in life after cancer. And this is something that we can do to make a difference. This is something we can control, right?
Yep. It is. And just going back to that, when I did this presentation at Eisenhower many years ago, the director of public relations who manages a lot of the reservations called me up and said, I've never had so many people respond to a lecture as long as I've been here as to this topic. So get creative with your vinegar and your water and your peroxide. You can come up with your own blend. Awesome.
Oh, we'll make sure we put this online. If you have friends that want to see tonight's show, we will make sure that it is up online for you in a few weeks. We just need a few weeks to kind of do a little editing and magic behind the scenes, but we'll definitely have Rosemary's awesome recipes up online on our community blog page. Thank you so much, and everyone have a wonderful evening.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good seeing everybody. Bye. Sonja, thank you so much for all the work you did behind the lines and in posting things.
No worries. I was like, okay, people are going to ask questions.
Oh my gosh, you guys, it was wonderful.
Good. I'm sorry.